Hi everyone, today I want to introduce you to indices. Now indices are when we have those little mini numbers next to letters or next to other numbers, like here. You know, you might have seen 2 squared or 5 to the power of 3 or whatever. They're indices. So if I have a look over here, when I've got an indice, I've always got a base first, so that's the main number or letter that has the mini number attached to it. So for example, in this case, I've got a to the power of 4. So my a is called the base. That's my base number. It's a normal size number. It's written normally. It's not mini, okay? So that's my base. And then the mini number that's written up the top, it's never written down the bottom, it's always written up the top, is called my power or index or exponent. Really, there's 3 names and you can pick whichever one floats your boat. You might hear people say to the power of, like I just said, a to the power of 4. Otherwise I might say a with an index of 4. I might use the word index or say, hey, 4 is my index, or my indice. I tend to say indice or power. Otherwise, I think Americans call it exponent. Just another unnecessary word to describe the same thing. Don't you love maths? Anyway, so there are 3 words that you could use to describe that. Actually, I should add in the indice because that's what I say. I tend to say indice. I don't even know if I've spelled it right. Yeah, so indice, index, power, exponent, whatever you want to call it, it's fine. As long as you know that those 4 different words refer to this mini number up here. So here I've got 2 to the power of 5. So 2 is my base, 5 is my power or my index or my exponent or my indice, whatever other word you can come up with. Yeah, cool. Let's actually look at it in action though. It's not just a bunch of random unnecessary words. It has a purpose, a very useful purpose. So if you think back to algebra, now let me just say, first of all, this here is not an indice, okay? This one is not going to give us an indice. I'm just using it as an example, okay? Indices don't involve the pluses, okay? So if I've got b plus b plus b, I'm not going to get an indice. But if I do go b plus b plus b, thinking back to algebra that you probably did last year or earlier this year, when I have b plus b plus b, there's got to be a faster way to write it, right? So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to go 3b. I count them. There are 3 of them, so I put that 3 in front. Now that's if I'm plussing. But what happens if I'm multiplying? Here I've got b times b times b. I can't put the 3 in front because then that means I'm plussing. What do I do if I'm multiplying? Well, that's where indices come in, my friend. We're going to be going b. Gosh, I've got to get myself better texters. b times b times b. Instead of putting the 3 in front like I did when I'm plussing, I'm going to be putting it as an indice, or an exponent, or a power, or an index, whatever word you like. So the difference here between these 2 things is that my 3 becomes the number in front called a coefficient if I'm adding, whereas it becomes my indice if multiplying. Okay, it's super important to remember the difference. So if I'm multiplying letters together or numbers together, if I'm multiplying numbers together or letters together, that number turns into an index, whereas if I'm just adding, that number goes directly in front, and that's called a coefficient. All right, cool. So let's have a look at this one. So we're not going to be doing any more looking at adding. I just wanted to show you the difference. Super important to not mix the 2 up. You don't want to put your indice as a coefficient by accident. That's weird. And it's wrong, okay? So you don't want to do that. Here, I've got c times c times c times c times c times c. That's a pain in the bum. There's got to be a faster way to write that. Well, yes there is. I'm going to write c, and then I count up how many c's there are, and I put that as my index. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's to the power of 6. Awesome. I need to get better textures. And now I've got d times 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 d. Faster way to write it? Let's do it in index form, and that's what it's called. This is called index form, because the form is index style. Okay, so now I'm going to be counting how many d's I've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is d to the power of 8. All right, let's see if we can work it backwards. Here I've got something written in index form, and I want to write it in standard form, which is this. I want to turn it from index form into standard form. So what does this e to the power of 5 mean? Well, it means I've got 5 e's. And because it's an indice, not a coefficient, they're going to be multiplied together. So it's going to be e times e times e times e times e. I've got 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Happy days. Here I've got f to the power of 2. Want to write it in standard form. So I've got f times f. There's 2 of them. Awesome. All right, here I've got g to the power of 10. Good Lord, why didn't I choose a smaller indice? G times g times g times g times g times g. Am I going to fit them in? I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more and I'm done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. We've got g to the power of 10 written in standard form. And now I've got h to the power of 1. Oh, okay. So I need to have 1h. And that's it. If I've got h to the power of 1, there's only one of them. So I don't even need to write anything else, because there's only one. And there we go. We have learned the basics of indices. Thank you for watching.